What's going on, Aquarius? Welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and I hope you're having a fantastic week so far. So for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really is just incredible, Aquarius, and it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy Higher Self has brought you here. We are in for an amazing journey. And let me tell you why. Because it's your general energy weekly spread. Yeah, or something like that. Sidebar. You're my last one of this week's spread, and I've been trying to figure out what the weekly energy is going to be like. I got the other two intros figured out, but it's like I think I need to either get some sparklers, or maybe get some birds or something like that. It's maybe get a cat in on the mix. Nature my problem. But let's get back to you, because whenever you happen to, with this weekly video or weekly spread, whenever you happen to come across this video, there may be some messages in here for you. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one. So take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me, and never force a reading on a situation, okay? So with all that being said, let's jump into it. Your space has been cleansed. Gems, feeling lovely. Just great energy all around here, Aquarius. So I'm going to be pulling a few oracle cards from this deck here, and then I'll be getting some details with the tarot. But before we jump into this thing, these readings that I do, they're not gender specific readings, so apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situations, okay? And then in case if you all were curious, the decks that I'm working with, I've included links for them down in the description box below, so definitely check that out if you're interested there, Aquarius. Oh, alrighty. This card, I love this card. It's funnier than it actually, than the meaning is. But this is the second card of Libras here, which is the Ostrich Trap card. And with this card, this is a card of avoidance, closed-mindedness, refusing to face reality, evade, feeling threatened, fake out, inhibit, fear-based thinking, steering clear, run for cover, and just a conspiracy theory. And so Aquarius, you know, if we've been in a place where we've been avoiding something, you know, we've been, whether this be a situation, a conversation, whatever that's looking like, we want to be mindful of that, because here's the thing: if we avoid problems, that if we, you know, keep our head, you got your fields on fire here, and you stick your head in the stand, that doesn't take away from the problem. We're just sweeping it under the rug, and where that may work for a little while, that you let that stuff fester if we don't deal with these things, and that's how we get into a hanged man situation. That's how tower moments happen. And that's not to get you scared or anything. It's just getting you aware that if there's something that you feel that is out of balance, you know, in any area of your life, it's facing that as it makes sense. You know, no one's saying that you have to do this thing, but you know, if they're just, we want to get to a place of, we get out of that like fear-based thinking that that the problem may be too much for you to take on, or that it's, you know, that it's going to be uncomfortable, or that it's going to be difficult. And of course, yeah, it probably is going to be difficult, but that's the whole point, because it's these situations are meant to show you how you can rise to the occasion and how you can embody the best version of yourself. You know, it's the same, excuse me. It's the same problems that we've had as we've been going on since we were children, but it just takes on a different shape as we get older. It may seem bigger, it's just because we're leveling up. You know, we can't keep having the same It's like think about like I don't know if any of you all are like Pokemon fans or anything, but it's like, think about when you're raising like a Pokemon. You know, if you got a level 30 monster, you're not gonna train it in a level 5 zone. It's gonna take the growth where, sure, it'll happen, but it's like, do we really want to take that long road, or do we just want to go ahead and match 30 to 30 and see what's up, or do you want to match 30 to 40? You feel? I see you, Aquarius, but you know, we just don't want to be, we want to be mindful of just like evading things and, you know, of evading situations and things along those lines. But I also kind of feel with this, Aquarius, just making, especially with where the energies are at right now, we definitely want to be mindful of like closed-mindedness. We want to be open to I feel like, especially yours being like a sign of networking, you know, just like, and not to say, just like if we happen to collaborate in the future, just being open to different perspectives and things, because we are in a time of like innovation and, you know, just creativity. And yeah, we just don't want to we just don't want to get into this place where we're just, if we get into like networking with people, just something that just kind of popped. I was like, thought that was kind of random, but just something that popped in my head there, Aquarius. But let's get some more cards. Let's get some tarot on this and get some details. All right, let's see what we got here. Ooh, all right. Interesting. That's dope. Okay, so you have one of your rulers, the World, and then you have the Ace of Wands in reverse here. But lovely thing, we got the Ace of Pentacles, and then we have the Nine of Swords upright here. And here's the thing, Aquarius. With this Nine of Swords, this is what happens when we avoid things. It just stays on your mind. You know, we might be able to ignore it for a spell or two, but it just starts, if we ignore it, here's how it goes. At least I feel like when it comes to like before a tower moment comes up in these like situations and things, I feel like higher self gives you a moment, gives you a window to take action, to face this stuff head on. And if we get to a place where we're avoiding this stuff, higher self can only keep it internal for so long, especially if it's keeping us from moving on to that next cycle, you know, going back to, because after, I love that, because after the World is the Fool, and the Fool is Uranus. That's your other ruler, Aquarius. But if we ignore these problems, then they tend to expand outward, you know? Because the Nine of Swords it's a pretty intense card. This can be a card of, you know, really kind of being, you talk about being stuck in your head. It's just like this thing is bothering you no matter if we're doing the dishes, we're showering, you know, all this stuff. It's just like, it festers. And so we want to get to this place of, we don't want to just sit on this energy, you know. We want to take action and go towards healing, you know, get out of this cycle, because that's where the abundance is. Ace of Pentacles all day. And it might be a little difficult, you know, when we're facing this situation, Aquarius, to find the nuggets of wisdom in there, but bet they're in there. It's just a matter of perspective, because when I think about the Nine of Wands as being Mars and Gemini, we can either see, you know, Mars being dealing with action. We could either see this as, no, I don't want to face this, it's going to be too much, like, it's, you know, like, we don't want to be bothered. Or we can say like, okay, yeah, granted, facing this thing was tough, but I see how I'm going to grow in this aspect. You know, it's going to take, I learned this resource, you know, this gave me this skill. It really is. It's like when we, and the thing too, I feel with the Nine of Swords, this can be like a card of cruelty, you know, in a sense of like, and I feel like it's more so like the how we can be cruel to ourselves, you know, and like we could tell ourselves that we can't face this stuff, or, you know, that the reality is too harsh, or, you know, get in that fear-based thinking. But we want to match that, because again, you being an air sign especially, you know, your thoughts are powerful, and Pluto's bringing change to your sign, whether we want to face it or not. Like these next 20 years, Aquarius, are going to be, you know, depending on, you know, where your Aquarius placements are and how many you got. It's going to be a very transformative couple of years, and that's an exciting thing. But there may be some stuff that's because when we get into Pluto energy, Pluto's going to dig up all those nightmares, all the things that haven't been facing. So just something to think about. And you know, Saturn being in Pisces right now, and will be there for the next 3 years. It's about doing that soul search, you know, going within, doing that shadow work. You know, what are some stuff that's been holding you back, all these things, and how can we change that narrative so that we can get that abundance. So just something to think about there. Alrighty. I mean, because really, strong start. It's like, yeah, if we can, once we start getting out of our heads and facing this stuff, I feel like it's going to be off to the races, Aquarius. Let's get some more on this. Nice. Nice. All right, you got the second card of Tauruses here, which is the Tandem Bicycle card. And with this card, this is a card of synchronized, alliance, duo, partnership, unison, equality, collaboration, togetherness, simpatico, aligned, hookup, cooperation, harmony, help, loin, consensus, and two of a kind. And you know, Aquarius, I really feel like with this, where yes, this is a card of, you know, really kind of, you know, having those allies and things, but partway what I'm getting with this is like, whom are we kind of synchronized with right now? Are we in, because with all of these changes and with your ruler Uranus, you know, really he's been going to work these last like 7 years or for about 5 years or so. He's got about, Uranus stays about 7 years in a sign at a time. There's been a lot of changes. Pluto's bringing a lot of change. I mean, we really are getting to a trend, like the whole game is about to flip on its head. And if we are in a place where everyone around us it's just been maybe this doom and gloom and stuff like that, we want to be mindful of the people that we're connecting with. And it's not to say that we need to cut these people off, but maybe we need to either put up some boundaries or see if we can maybe change this narrative, because if we're around that energy all the time, then that's going to be the reality. But if we can change it to people who are, and not just even people, Aquarius, you know, the things that we're watching, that we're listening to, you know, podcasts, news, all that stuff, if we're just focusing on how everything is just falling apart and collapsing, what's that going to do? That's not conducive to anyone's growth. You know, where yes, all this stuff, where all this cycle things, you know, are coming to an end. It's lovely because now we're at a place where what do you want to create? All this space has been made. What are you trying to manifest right now there, Aquarius? And again, how I was saying with this is a great energy for you right now with these next couple decades. Thinking about whom we're aligning with, you know, in every aspect of this, and just really focus on bringing more harmony in your life, and, you know, kind of to assuage these fears and these, you know, these things that we've been avoiding, and just really kind of, just change your perspective so that we can, just really start creating in things. But let's get some more tarot on this. And this is something too, just even thinking with that help, Aquarius, if we do find ourselves, maybe we're having trouble seeing, you know, the positives in things, or, you know, maybe if we're in need of any sort of like assistance, any kind of help, anything along those lines, and however that may be translating, don't be afraid to reach out to those of you who are in your soul tribe there. Yeah. All right, but let's see what we got here. I dig it. So you got the Six of Swords in reverse here, but then we got the Three of Wands and the Ten of Pentacles upright. So I'm with that. But the only way we're going to get to this Ten of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles, is if we look at what stuff is holding us back. More Swords energy. This is one of your cards. This is Mercury in Aquarius. And it's just what's been on your mind here as of late. You know, what's that thing that's been cycling in Aquarius? It's one of those things that we got to be honest with ourselves. You know, if we're noticing this stuff if we're noticing things that are lowering our vibration, or that we're not facing or avoiding, that's going to affect your expansion. It's going to affect the opportunities and things, and really it's going to affect how this new experience, you know, when we go to, because here's the thing, when we haven't faced this stuff, but we're trying to move on and grow, where you can change your environment up, and, you know, maybe you know what I mean, we can try to switch it up, but if we haven't faced the problems, it's just going to follow you once you get settled into your new thing. it takes a minute to get rooted, but the situation will manifest in just a different way if there are things that we're not facing. So just be thinking about that when we're thinking about our legacy and stuff. It's like, do we want to build our foundation on a place of fear and avoidance and stuff, or do we want to do it in an area, or do it in a place from harmony and synchronization and in resonance and fulfillment? You know what I mean? So just when we're thinking about this stuff, I feel like it's like facing this stuff, head on, and then how do I want to put this? I feel that when we really just kind of get eyes on this stuff here, and just like, because however this might be translating for you, if this is resonating, it just, yeah, if there's something that is preventing you from moving on, I really feel like that it's just like, where's our head at, and like really take this time to just kind of reflect on where we've been putting like our energies up until now, how we've been investing in ourselves, and then see where the adjustments need to be made. But I'm also kind of feeling with this that maybe there is an energy that, because yours is a sign of networking, Aquarius, and you're about the collective, humanitarianism. I feel like that, for some others, I feel like that there's some sort of because maybe I don't want to say maybe we're afraid of partnering with others, but maybe we're worried about maybe how working with others may change our vision, maybe, or something along those lines. I'm not, that's kind of a little tricky energy there, but I feel like just being open to collaboration and just see where it goes. And if things don't seem to quite harmonize, that's okay. But at least I just feel like being just open to the opportunities of it, Aquarius. Alrighty. Let's get one more oracle on this mix. Okay, nice little finisher here. You got the third card of Virgos, which is the Chess card. And with this card, this is a card of strategy, planning, checkmate, grand design, thinking ahead, tactics, moves and counter moves, master plan, course of action, power play, game theory, and consequences of actions. And so I feel like for some of you, if we've been resonating with this thing, it is about getting a game plan, thinking about what we're going to do to handle this stuff, to face the whatever situations we might been of avoiding, and thinking about not even just less about I feel like more so like the consequences of our inactions if we've been avoiding some things, because that's where. Because it's like I was saying, I feel that if when we ignore this stuff and we just kind of let that, put it on the back burner, it'll be fine. Where it might be fine for a minute. It's just that stuff tends to, if not dealt with, it's tricky how it may manifest in a different way. So just something to think about there, Aquarius. But I also kind of feel with this that if we've been maybe a little worried about the future, maybe we've been thinking about what does Ten of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles look like for me? What legacy am I leaving behind for the world? This is great. That's great energy for doing that. Doing again some soul searching, asking yourself what fulfills you, what would raise your vibration, and what would bring more value and beauty to the world. How can you let your gifts really shine through? And don't feel like that you have to rush this thing, Aquarius. This is like, we are in a time of, especially with Jupiter having just entered into Taurus not too long ago, we're in a time of thinking for the long game. That's not to say there aren't going to be some quick stuff happening along the way, but we're definitely thinking we're in a Ten of Pentacles type of energy right now, where it's just a matter of just thinking about that foundation and what are the potential of our dreams and stuff. And And so, yeah, this is a great time. Don't feel like that you have to pressure, or that you try not to be overly critical of where we're at on our journey. You know, if we feel like we're behind or anything along those lines, you are exactly where you need to be on your journey. But it's just figuring out what that next course of action is, and just keep that energy going towards that stuff. As long, as long as it's raising your vibration and filling up all of your cups at the end. But let's get some tarot on this, get some details. I love it. Absolutely. Because what better way to get to the 9 or the 10 of Pentacles? Then you got the 9 of Pentacles here, and then you got the Queen of Swords. Okay, Aquarius, and we're going to switch back over. Because with this 9 of Pentacles, if this is stuff that we've been thinking about, if we haven't been, this energy is asking us, in what areas can we find more security in? Where do we not feel stable, whether that be financially, whether that be in health, whether that be mental health, whether that be spirituality, and then putting in that work, and then making that growth and that healing your primary focus, for however long, until we feeling good about that, until we move on to the next thing. But this energy, I really feel like, is getting a better understanding of who you are, and understanding, really forming bond, because the Queen of Swords is a Libra's card. First 2 decans of Libra, last of Virgos. And I really feel like, this next, just really for the duration of this journey, it's just like, it's finding those things that bring balance and harmony in our lives, and making that a routine, and then the clarity comes from this journey. Then we were able to face these problems head on. We're not afraid to do this stuff. Then we're doing things that are more harmonious, and we're partnering with people that are too. We're attracting those vibrations, because when we're in a state of fear, that's all we're going to attract. People that might be afraid, and of things of worry and stuff. But we're this. It's going to be an interesting little cycle here, Aquarius. I feel like what's coming up, but I really feel that if you really take this time and try not to overthink this stuff. Don't let this get into. Don't try not to get in your head about this. 10 of Pentacles, that's a big dream. Thinking about your world is a really big stuff, or big dream. So I feel that it's just listening to what really resonates with you, and then follow that. Let that be your guiding force, and that's going to be something that is. And then if we notice that the energies are no longer, we're feeling some kind of dissonance. It's pausing and reflecting and asking ourselves, what is that, so that we can pivot and kind of and adjust here. So. All right, I think I'm going to leave that there, Aquarius. I hope that made sense. That was interesting reading here, but I feel like it's some solid stuff is coming on the horizon here. It's just really asking ourselves, what does this world look like? Some big questions I feel like are being asked here. But if something resonated with you, give it a thumbs up and share this. Because I mean, it can be. It's thinking about this journey is a lot, and some of the stuff is like, where is this stuff taking us? What is my, we have one grand dream 1 minute, and then it's like, oh, but really, when we then say a situation happens, and then we end up on a whole different track there. It's just like, oh, okay. But you just kind of it's going with the flow. But, getting back into your reading. Share this, Aquarius, and then when you're all done talking to this person, both you and them, if you haven't already, subscribe and hit that bell button. You get notified when I release these videos each week. And then, something that might help you while you're meditating on these big questions. I've been on this app, Insight Timers meditation app, and I started a group on there called Zodiacs Raising the Vibration. And it's just a group to post positive affirmations, encouraging messages, things along those lines. Talk about these concerns, that we're thinking about this stuff, and like what that looks like, and how what steps we're doing to grow, and what opportunities we're trying to to expand on. And then definitely as the group grows, definitely want to do some schedule different meditations, like group meditations and things. It'd be a good old time. But all that information in the description box. And then lastly, if you have any Cancer in your placement, Sun, Moon, Rising, wherever, Aquarius, come on over to my other channel, The Chariot and Friends. I do videos Monday through Friday there. We discuss lunar shenanigans. It's a good old time. And all that housekeeping down in the description box below. But let me get your surprise card here so I can get you out of here. Emperor. Strong finish here. Or at least it will be. Once we rise up and face this stuff here, Aquarius, you know. Because with the Emperor, you know, when we think about the number 4, 4 has to deal with stability. And if there are areas we're not feeling stable, one, let's go ahead and take action and try to go get that stuff healed. But again, if there are things that we're avoiding, the Emperor does not, like, with the Emperor, fear, he uses fear as fuel. That's what, he's going to go bold and assertive at it. But it's just understanding why we're afraid of this thing. You know, I'm getting eyes on that and figuring out what that, how funny. You got the eye card here in reverse here. And so basically, literally what I was just thanks to yourself. It's literally getting eyes on it, Aquarius. And then figuring out what are our next steps here. And then planning, getting a strategy for it. So, and making sure that we have people in our court and that we're in situations that are supporting it and fostering this growth as well. So, dope. I think I'm gonna leave that there. So, oh, get my mouse. You stay safe out there, thinking about all this stuff, and try not to get in your head, Aquarius. You know, focus to take this time, raise your vibration through the roof. You know, really do some soul searching. That's all Saturn wants you to do. Ask yourself these big questions, and don't be overwhelmed. It's not that you don't have to have it all figured out right now, but it's just something to get you thinking about. Maybe jot down some ideas, however that's looking like. And then I will catch you on the next one. Later.